Okay, let me give you another example here, and I'll run through the same stuff that we need to do by hand, and then I'll show you on your graphing calculator what it looks like there on your app. Okay, so we got the problem, x squared plus 9 plus 8x. The unusual thing about this is it's kind of out of order, right? We're used to seeing the descending order of the degrees here, x squared plus 8x plus 9. All right, so it's a good idea to rewrite the thing in the correct order. One of the reasons is, in a minute I'm going to be looking for a and b, right, to do my axis of symmetry, x equal negative b over 2a, and I'm going to need to know a is equal to 1 because it's 1x squared, b is equal to 8, and of course c is equal to 9, okay? So that's why it's a good idea to have this in the correct order. All right, so I've got a graph over here. This is going to be my x-axis, my f of x-axis. And so one thing that we'll want to do, we're going to want to graph this fellow. In order to graph it, we're going to be finding some points on it, right? We'll do this x, y, or this x, f of x deal like this, you know, try to find some points. We want to find the y-intercept, and we want to find the axis of symmetry. And we're going to want to find the vertex, okay? So let me just list those out for you like that. So these are the things that you're looking for when you do this by hand, okay? To graph it, we're going to find the points on it, okay? One of the points we're going to find, the y-intercept. The y-intercept, as soon as I say y-intercept, you think x equals 0. So if you want to find the y-intercept, let's start with that one. The y-intercept is when x is equal to 0, so put a 0 in for x, and let's use this one over here. 0 squared plus 8 times 0, so 0 plus 0 plus 9. It's just going to be 9. So 0, 9 is going to be a point on this graph. Right there. That's the y-intercept. All right. So there's a point. We're going to find some more points, and we're going to get an idea of what the graph looks like. So to find some more points, just choose numbers. Choose numbers like put in a -2 there, put in a 3 there, put in a 1. Just choose whatever numbers you want to. Evaluate this thing and see what you get for y, and then graph the points over there. For instance, if x is -2, you get -2 squared is +4 minus 2, okay, so 8 times -2 is -16. So I had 4 minus 16 is -12, plus 9 is 3. I think that's right. So the point -2, oh wait, that's -3, right? We can do this in slow motion here. So -2 squared is +4, and then 8 times -2 is -16. Yeah, so that's -12 plus 9. -12 plus 9 is -3. So the point is -2, -3, and it looks like that right there. Yeah, close enough. Okay, and let's put in a 3 for x, and you get 9 plus 24 plus 9. Okay, so that's a big number right there, right? So 9 plus 24 plus 9 is 33, maybe 42. So when you put in a 3, you're way the heck up here like that, okay? All right, and so that was 3. Let me just write it down here. 3, 19, and 24 is, I think 42 is what we said. Put in a 1. 1 squared plus 8. Okay, so that's 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 9 is 18. All right, so we're still up there pretty high. So it's going up pretty fast over here. All right, so I get that picture like that. It's going through here, it's going through there. All right, and one thing we want to find is, you know, so it's like I'm having trouble, you know, just putting in numbers right here. I'm having trouble with what it looks like. Okay, but we've got some points on the graph, and we're getting the graph of it. Okay, but one of the things that's going to help me on the graph is this. Find the axis of symmetry. Find the place where it looks the same on both sides, and then find the vertex. And once I find that, I'll have a much better idea of what the graph is going to look like. So to find the axis of symmetry, we use the formula x equals -b over 2a. X equals -b over 2a. All right, so when I look at my a and b, here we go. So -b is -8 over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. So -8 over 2 is -4. So the line x equals -4 is what we're looking for the axis of symmetry. All right, and so this is going to start making more sense when I see it go like 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. This line, x equals -4, is the axis of symmetry. Okay, so now the thing is going to look the same on both sides of that. If you want to see where the vertex is, Okay, so we got this, we got that, we got all this stuff going right here. If you want to see where the vertex is, put in -4 to this equation right here. Let x be -4. So -4 squared is 16. 16, -4 times 8 is -32. So 16 minus 32 is -16 plus 9. -16 plus 9, once again. -16 plus 9 is -7. I don't know, better write that down somewhere, right? So I get -4 squared plus 8 times -4 plus 9. Okay, so it's impossible for me to tell if you understand what I'm doing or not. You know, if I'm going too fast or whatever, you can just play it back. But this is all I'm doing is putting in an x right here. 16 minus 32 plus 9. And I'm trying to evaluate that. And I'm trying to do it in my head because if I make the videos too long, YouTube doesn't let me do long videos. So I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible because I'm assuming that some of you understand what I'm talking about. And that's where I came out with -7 like that, okay? So what I said then is the vertex is a point -4, -7. So it's on the axis of symmetry. The vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. So that's what it looks like right here. And that's why we see this. All we had, as long as we put in positive numbers, was just going up really extremely fast over here. The rest of the curve is on this side of it. So if we put in stuff like -5, we would see other numbers. We'd see -5 squared is positive 25, minus 40, which is -15. -15 plus 9 is -6. So -5. Let's see, that doesn't look right. Okay, one thing when you're doing like this, it's like, okay, if it doesn't come out where it looks right, see if you can figure out why it's wrong. Let me do this again in slow motion. -5 squared is positive 25. -5 times 8 is -40. And then plus 9, so that's -15 plus 9 is -6. -6, all right. And so we said, okay, I get it. So the vertex was at -7, so this is at a point of -7, so -6 does look right because it started coming back up right here, just on the other side of this. And what you're going to see again is a mirror image of this side over here. That's what the axis of symmetry does for you. Okay, so it divides it like that. All right, so this is the stuff you're looking for. Okay, now quickly, let me get you to the calculators and show you what we're looking at. All right, so fire up your calculator. When you do, it's going to look something like this, except you're not going to have all this stuff in there from previous calculations and all that. But look at the bottom down here. At the bottom, you got some really, it's amazingly powerful, this app. It does so much stuff that you will never do, but you can take it with you to college, and if you get into better math classes and all that, it does a lot of stuff for you. But one of the things here at the bottom, look at the equation. As long as you're just doing, like if you just like, okay, like if you're doing this and you want to see, you want to put in a -5, and so you go, you know, you can go -5, or you can do like 5 squared. I think you can see this, me doing it like that, 5. That little caret there means to the second power. 5 squared is 25, you know, and you can do 25 minus 40, and then plus 9. And if you had like 25, you know, 25 minus 31, it would come out to be -6. So as long as you're just doing little calculations like that, you can do it on this screen right here. So it's all the way, this button all the way to the left. But what I want to show you is the one here where we type in the equation. So let's go y1 is equal to, and let's go back to our equation over here. Okay, so you want x in there. So the x is this green button right here. So that's for the variable. So there's x, and you want x squared. So I go little hat or caret, x to the second power. Looks like that. X squared plus 8x plus 9. So go plus 8x plus 9. There's no way for me to ask if everybody's getting this, if everybody has it on your phone, but that's it. And once you have it in, x squared plus 8x plus 9, you hit the whatever color gold button here that says save, and it saves it there. So there's one of your equations. Then when you come over to graph, so go over here, you see graph. now you just hit that button that says graph, and it will graph whatever equations you have in there. And as you saw, you could put a bunch of equations in there if you want to, and it would graph them all, and it just does them extremely quickly like that. But there's the graph of the same thing that we were just trying to do over here. You can zoom in and out with your fingers like you would expect, and you could see over here, for instance, the vertex is way down here at negative, what did we say? Vertex was -4, -7. Yeah, so you see over -4 straight down to -7. There's the vertex of that thing. The y-intercept, of course, is up here. It crosses the y-axis at 9. So if you zoom in and get up close to that, you see 0, 9 is the point on the graph like that. So all of the information that we were figuring out there, you can see on this graph. And it's, anyway, I think it's extremely handy. There's a lot of things you can explore with down here. One of the things that I fool with once in a while is I can make the table. If I put in the table, so this is a table kind of like I was drawing over here when I was just making up numbers for X and figuring out what Y was, they got it all there for me. And if I want to change the dimensions there, I can, this starts at -10 and it'll just go for a long time, just let X be -10, -9, -8, and so forth. Just go one at a time. Delta X is one at a time. But if I wanted to see like what fractions were, I could change that to 1.5 or whatever I wanted it to, and go back to the table. Now X goes up 1.5 at a time. All right, and so I could see what numbers I'm getting there, and you see all the decimals and so forth. So anyway, very handy thing, and I hope that you will use these, use this to work. So let me call that a day at this point. So the book, I've shown you the book. I'll show it to you again one more time. There's a bunch of problems over here, 14 through 43, and they basically say this. They basically say find the axis of symmetry and the vertex and draw the graph of it, find some points on it. And it also, the bottom ones there tell you to find the maximum or minimum. All right, this graph will have a maximum and minimum. So let me just show you one more thing before I turn you loose. As long as the graph, if the parabola is opening upward like this, there's going to be a minimum to it, okay? The minimum will be wherever the vertex is. So if you find the vertex, you found the minimum. How would you ever find the maximum? The way that you'll find the maximum is if you draw a parabola and it's opening downward. If it's opening downward, then it's going to have a point on top of the parabola. That would be the maximum and the highest point. When is the parabola opening downward? The answer is if the x-squared coefficient is negative, it's going to open downward. So just do everything the same way, and you're going to find your parabola. If the x-squared coefficient is negative, it's going to be opening like this. And they ask for a maximum value because there's a point sitting on top of it, okay? So if it's opening upward, it has a minimum. It doesn't have a maximum. It goes forever right here. There's no maximum. There's no high end of this thing. It goes up forever. It only has a minimum value. If it's opening downward, it only has a maximum. There's no minimum. It'll go down forever like this, okay? So let me show you again the problems on there, and do as much as you can here in the next couple days. On the, yeah, I'm doing the right page there for you. On your calculators, figure those out, put those in, graph those, and what you want to do for me is just graph it on your calculator and then quickly just show me a little graph on your paper of about what it looked like, instead of taking a picture of your calculator and sending that to me every time. That would be kind of, I guess you could screenshot that and send it, but you'd have to do that 4 million times. That wouldn't be any fun, all right? So try that, see how it goes, and send me some comments if you need more explanations on this or whatever. It's easy. You can comment to the whole class, for the whole class to see, or you can just do it straight to me, I'm pretty sure, all right? So good job in the first 6 weeks. The vast majority of you have done more work than you've ever done before, so that's good. Hope you keep it up and finish strong.